give me a big wave? Fantastic. Well, I know both schools have done several video conferences before, but I want to just reiterate some video conferencing protocols, just to remind you of some things that help make the conversation go a little bit more smoothly using this technology. When you speak, make sure you introduce yourself by name. Hi, my name is Corey. Say what it is that you would like to say, and then end by simply saying thank you. That way we'll know that you're done speaking and somebody else can take the microphone. If you remember to, at the end, when everybody is done speaking from your school, say that's it from. So that's it from SMA Islam, or that's it from Xavier. That way we'll know that your school is done speaking and the other school can just go right ahead and jump in without me necessarily having to keep prompting with questions. You're part of larger groups today, but we want to hear from you as an individual. What do you observe? What do you think? What do you see? So use the word I instead of we. I think, I've observed, I believe, rather than we think or we observe or we believe. Again, that reminds us that you're speaking on behalf of yourself as an individual rather than on behalf of a larger group. Also, the best video conferences take place when you start to genuinely enter a conversation between one another, and that happens with good response questions. Questions based on what you've heard the other schools say already. Good response questions come from good listening, so make sure that you're listening very closely, and remember to always have good body language. Even if you don't see yourself on the screen, somebody somewhere can see you and the video conference is being recorded. So you just want to make sure that you're showing good body posture, good listening skills. And when questions do arise, don't be afraid to ask them. Again, the best video conferences take place when you start to ask good probing questions of one another based on what you've heard already. And finally, at the end of the video conference, we'll have a couple of minutes to talk about what you've learned from the video conference, what you're going to take away from this video conference. So be thinking about that as the video conference takes place. What surprises you? What interests you? What differences do you see that you hadn't thought about before? If you bring those up at the end, it'll make the end of the video conference that much more enlightening, and you might be able to take some more information to the online community or another video conference. So if those protocols make sense, can you give me one more big wave? Fantastic. Well, it's always neat. I'm on the west coast of the United States. We of course have a school in the Philippines, a school in Indonesia, and then our technical support is in India. So truly a global experience today for all of us. And of course, the global experience oftentimes is one of economics, and that of course is today your topic, wealth and charity, and how wealth is distributed both at your local level and again at the more national or global level as well. So we want to talk about this topic and how you're involved with that topic. So to get started, we want to do an icebreaker where you describe what does wealth look like in your community? What is it? When you walk down the street, what do people think of when they think of the word wealth? What do people, when people see certain things in your community, what are those things that make them think, oh, there's wealth? And likewise, what are those things that people see that they think, well, there's poverty or there's an absence of wealth? So if we can get a description of your community through those lenses from several different students to open things up, that would be great. So we'll start with Xavier. If we could hear from 3 or 4, maybe 5 students, what does wealth and poverty look like in your community? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Teotan, and for us in the Philippines, I can see that wealth is based on where you live and how much you own, mostly about property, since we're only a small archipelago in this island. So mostly when you have a big property and we can say a village, then people will think that you are wealthy, rich, or well privileged, while when you live in the slums, what we call the squatters area, or people who don't own any property or land at all, and would rather squat on government property or public property for their living. And sometimes they would even live just above another person that they would build their house upon with roofs and scrap metal that we call hierro. Then we can say that they are unwealthy or poor or under poverty in our country.
Hi, my name is Joseph Busto. In the Philippines, oh my God. Wait, if I stand up. In the Philippines, wealth is often defined by who can go out often, who can spend the most money when friends go out, or who has the most luxurious car, who has the most luxurious phone, and who has the most luxurious house. This is an indicator, however, of poverty is that although in my community, or rather in the Savior community, we are in the upper bracket. In the Philippines as a whole, like my classmate Theo Tan has said, poverty in the Philippines is very well defined. It is those who have nothing to their name, those who must subsist on everyday living, having the fear of not having food for the next day. Thank you.
I am Brent. For me, wealth in the Philippines is when we have a freedom of choice. So, given for example, when wealthy people get more than what they need, given for example, when wealthy people can enroll and can choose the schools they go to, while the poor people can only go to public schools or schools subsidized by the government. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ryan Nong. Well, for me, it's being able to buy the things you want. Like you go to the mall, you see perhaps a shop that sells clothes and shoes and such, and you're able to buy it easily without really giving much thought to the cost and such. However, for the poor, it's usually that they can't even buy or have like 3 meals a day, and usually would have to survive solely on like perhaps scraps of food, and they really are unable to get what is it that they want. Thank you.
That is all from Savior School, Philippines.
Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. SMA Islam, if we could hear from several of your students, what does wealth and poverty look like in your community? Thank you.
Hello guys, my name is Aurelia. In my community, wealth means, you know, having a roof over your head, having a nice home in a nice community, and having enough food, and you know, to have a proper education and a loving family. That means wealth. That pretty much sums wealth in my community. But as in for poverty, I think it means like living in a fear that you don't have enough to survive on the next day, that you don't have a stable home, that you don't have a family who is I don't know, stable, and you don't have the proper education, and that means poverty in my community. And I'm very lucky to live in a good community with two loving parents, and I think that sums it up. So thanks. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Elmo, and uh, in my view, being wealthy means having a home and maybe one or two transportations. Every time I bike to school, I can see the difference between someone who is wealthy and uh, someone who is in poverty, such as like the ones who are wealthy usually have larger houses and they go to school by car, whereas people who are in poverty are usually shown by the kids who run around on the street and they don't go to school. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Akila. In my community, poverty is considered as, here we have four basic needs such as education, shelter, food, and clothes. So if you can buy more than your basic needs, it means you're wealthy. But if you can fulfill anything like the basic needs, such as you can have your meal 3 times a day, you can have your clothes properly, you can even change your uniform every day, you can only wear the same uniform every day. In my community, that is considered poverty. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kirana, and I think wealth and poverty in my community means that in wealth you have much more than you needed, more than you already have shelter, you already have food, and you already all have the four basic needs that were taught by my friend. But in wealth you can have more than that, whereas poverty is you probably only have one or two of them, and you can't really buy anything or have anything more than those two that you have. And thank you.
Hello, my name is Kenny. In my point of view, I think that wealth means everything you need basically is fulfilled. But in poverty, I think most of the basic needs you have is not fulfilled. And in wealth, you can help a lot of other people. Thank you.
That is all from SMA Dian Didaktika.
Well, thank you very much. There were some, on the whole, a lot of similarities, but there were some subtle differences as well. I'll touch on those a little bit later. What I'd like to have you share now with each other is, do you feel that your individual view of wealth is different than perhaps how wealth is viewed in the community? How do you personally view wealth? And don't shy away from admitting that, wealth and material goods can be a good thing. I think a lot of times we get onto these video conferences and we almost have a tendency to say that material things are bad. They're not necessarily bad. So is there a view of wealth that you have that does perhaps differ slightly from the greater community or the typical view of wealth? Again, if we could hear from a few students from each school, and again, we'll start with Xavier. Thank you.
Hello, again, my name is Teotan, and as I said before, the community sees wealth as material and monetary goods, but I for one say that wealth all depends on the person itself. Everyone in this world is technically poor in a sense, but eventually it's all in the state of mind or how much you would think of, are you really that rich or are you really that poor? Because material things is only here and spiritually it's all within yourself. But it all depends within you if you think you are poor or you are rich. because even the richest person will never be sated with just a couple of meals, while the poorest person could be sated with just a cup of rice. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Matthew. The usual definition of wealth would be defined as having shelter, food, and homes. But I guess another not so common definition of wealth would be having more opportunities to grow as a person and as a community. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Robert, and I'm being cut off by the camera. Anyway, personally, I think that wealth is like a state of mind. Like when you have the luxury to choose things, when you have the luxury of picking something over another thing and not being constrained by, well, anything. Because for me, wealth is also like, it's not purely a physical or material thing. It can also be like an asset or something you know, or something you not necessarily have. It could be like an attitude or knowledge. Thank you.
I'm Isaac, and I would like to agree with my classmate here, Matthew, that wealth is more about opportunities. For me, I feel wealthy already that I got to play basketball, and then I got to meet some of my good friends here, and I got so many opportunities to help out in the community, to study in a good school, and also to hone my skills. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ryan again. I believe like wealth is how much you're contented with the way things are. Like you're just happy with the things that you have, and perhaps that you don't really feel the need to have and want more things. And yes, that's it. Thank you.
I am Ryan. For me, material possessions can be like a double-edged sword, wherein that sometimes having a lot of materials is good. You can use it to help other people, while at the same time, if you have too much material goods, sometimes you fail to see the little things that matter. Well, if you have a lack of material goods, you can, for every time that you get something nice, it's like it's more precious to you and you get to see the significance in it. Thank you.
That would be all from Xavier School Philippines. Thank you.
Is it our turn? Okay. Guys, I'm Aurelia. In my community, to be honest, being wealthy or being privileged means things such as who has the coolest cell phones, or what kind of car you drive to school, or what kind of just what kind of fancy things do you have. But in my opinion, being wealthy being wealthy means to have a home with your with loving family, and having enough and having the freedom to learn every day, to learn every single thing. And that's the thing that poverty can't have, I guess. So that's my opinion. Thank you.
Hello guys, my name is Kirana, and in my point of view about wealth is that there are many kinds of wealth. Like you have money, you have experience in something, or you have probably education and some other stuff. But for me, in my point of view, the most important thing about wealth is that you have education. Because if you don't have any education, you won't have it. You won't know how to do things right, and probably end it up wrong. And by education, I think you can plan out your future as what you want, and you can gain experience from education as well, because you can like join some race or something, or some competition. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sigi. In my community, I think wealthy is like you have everything special. I mean, like you have large home, you have kind of car, and anything else. You have perfect education. But for me, wealthy is like happiness. Maybe some people are wealth is not happy because maybe their family is divorced, but we don't know about the poor people. Maybe they have a good family and they're happy. Yeah, that's all I think. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Reid, and my opinion is, well, there's something that we have, that we had enough, but I don't think that well, having enough is enough. That's wealthy. Thank you.
That's all from SMA Dian Didaktika. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're starting to get a broader definition of wealth. When you start to talk about your individual definitions, we've heard things about strong families and happiness and education, and perhaps some of those intangible qualities such as knowledge that can be considered wealth as well. So what you've started to hit upon, and of course you probably learned about this when you were going through the wealth and poverty module, is this distinction between internal and external wealth. What does it mean to have external wealth versus internal wealth? And of course we've touched upon both of those things. So I wonder, how do you see in your community the influence of internal wealth on external wealth? Where do you see people using their external wealth because of internal motivations, either for good or for bad? So what I'm going to do is actually give each room about a minute, and you can talk about it among yourselves, and then we'll invite several people to share. So again, how do you see in your community internal motivations, internal wealth, influencing external wealth and the use of external wealth? Take 1 minute and chat about it. Thank you. Okay, let's get started. How internal wealth influences the distribution, or how external wealth is used in your community. And we'll start again with Xavier, if we could hear from a few of your students. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Derek Uy. I think that each person here in the world have their own internal wealth, whether it be singing, dancing, or like how we make friends or how we see each other. However, we need external wealth to show it to the world and to nurture our talents. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Victor. I can say that having external wealth such as money provides more opportunities for you, such as a better education. And through a better education, you can learn more and experience more. And through that, you gain more in the aspect of internal wealth. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ryan, and I believe that internal wealth affects external wealth. Because for me, the definition of being wealthy is being happy inside. And when you're truly happy inside, you wish to share your happiness to other people and, to spread the love. So when you're really wealthy internally, you will try to either do acts of charity that help provide for other people externally, or you can simply donate money so that they will go to a good cause and help them in the future. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jonathan. I'd like to agree to my classmate here, Victor, who said that through our external wealth, we can share it.
Well, SMA Islam, it looks like Xavier might have taken perhaps a bandwidth hit or something. It's unusual for them to drop out like that. So I'm guessing that their computer just took a quick bandwidth hit, and hopefully they'll join right back up. So just be patient. We'll let that gentleman finish up his comments, and then we'll send it back over to you, okay? There they are. Welcome back, Xavier.
I'm sorry for that. Let me continue for what I'm saying. So here, this organization called Para Kay Kiko is run by students who teach those who cannot afford to study. So with the blessings that us students receive, we are able to give it out and share that blessing to those who can't get it. Thank you.
Okay, and we'll go ahead and send it over to SMA Islam if we can hear from a few of your students about the impact of internal wealth on external wealth in your community. Thank you.
Hello guys, I'm Aurelia, and then from what I see, internal wealth is in you. It's within you. It's your how you view yourself. I think it's your religion, your happiness, your knowledge, your freedom, and basically I think it's about your knowledge. When you can do things, and it impacts on the external wealth. When you can do things, you can make things out of yourself. So the internal wealth creates external wealth. And when you are happy, when you're feel content with your religion, with your point of view, it creates a good condition for yourself, which can radiate to others. You know, you can because happiness radiates happiness. And when you spread happiness and you spread love and compassion, everybody else can feel it all around you. So that's the way I see it. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Karana, and from what I see from internal wealth and external wealth is internal wealth can affect external wealth, whereas external wealth can really affect internal wealth, because when you heard the saying money can buy happiness, that's a total lie, because money can really buy happiness. It can buy happiness, but only for momentarily. And happiness can only be done when, like, you did something really simple or really small that can make you happy and for on side, like your feelings when you're in love, when you were congratulated by your parents about doing something, and for me that's happiness. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Elmo. For me, internal wealth can affect our external wealth, because from our knowledge we can use our internal wealth of knowledge to gain material objects such as money, and we can use that external wealth to help others who need it more than us, or who need more than us. And I want to add from my classmate that internal wealth comes from ourselves, from our will. Thank you. That's all from SMA Dian Direkta.
All right. Well, you've been speaking for about a half of an hour now, and we've heard about what the wealth and poverty looks like in your communities. We've heard what your individual views of wealth and poverty look like. And now, of course, we've heard your views on how internal wealth can affect external wealth. And I like these responses concerning this idea that internal wealth can help foster external wealth, which in turn can allow you to help other people. And I think that that kind of comes back and underscores our internal wealth yet again. So it's kind of a nice cycle if you get it going right. At this point, what I'd like to do is open it up for questions. So does anybody have a question for the other school based on what you've heard already? Maybe they said something about the way wealth is looked at their community, or something they're involved in that you want to know more about. So at this point, just go ahead and ask the question if there are any. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Robert again. I was thinking, because we keep talking about internal wealth affecting external wealth. Like, what if it happens in reverse? What if it's like in our school, we're a private school, you need to be wealthy to come here. What if it's your external wealth that sometimes, makes your external wealth gives you opportunities to enhance your internal wealth? Do you think that would work? How do you see that happening if you do? Thank you.
Hello again, I'm Kirana. External wealth can really impact internal wealth, like as you said, from educational point of view. Sometimes you have to afford education in like schools, and when we want to learn our hobbies like playing guitar, dancing, or some other stuff that needed course. But from external wealth, like it's like the same thing, like when you buy something that you love, or maybe you really like it and you already bought it, but when you already have it like for like a month or so, suddenly you get bored. it's like for me, I mean, external wealth only influence how from internal. External wealth only makes us happy for like a period of time, whereas internal wealth you can really enjoy it anytime. You can tell experiences to your friends. You can tell stories about them. You can share them knowledge. Yeah, something like that. Thank you.
Anyone else there at oh, I was just going to say, would anyone else at SMA like to address that question? Then we'll get to your question as well. Do you see external wealth influencing internal wealth in your community at all? That's fine if not. We don't want to put you on the spot. You can be kind of thinking about it because I think it is an interesting question and one that actually you touched upon again in that cycle, how external wealth allows us to do things which helps our internal wealth. So we might get back to that a little bit later on. The student there at Xavier, if you have another question, go right ahead and ask it now.
Actually, I don't have a question. I would like to answer my classmate Robert's question instead. In agreement with Kirana, I also believe that although while external wealth can impact internal wealth in some way, it is not as impactful in the same way that internal wealth impacts external wealth. Because to be honest, like for me, for example, when we were studying in economics about the law of diminishing returns, the more and more you get, the less and less you feel happy about it, and the more and more you need something bigger to sate your happiness. And I think that's a very accurate description of what external wealth can do for internal wealth. I mean, sure, like what Kirana said, like you can get something that you really, really like, and after a while, it's going to get boring. And yes, I think that is true. Thank you.
Are there any other questions that either school would like to pose? Go right ahead and ask that. Or if you want to add an answer to that last question, I just saw somebody there at SMA get up. That's perfectly fine as well. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ilham. I want to ask about how is your charity programs in your school? Because in our school, we usually do the charity programs on every Friday and Tuesday. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Isa again. And in our school, the charity work we do, we relatively do it every other Saturday. We have a program called the Saturday Outreach Program, which allows us, the Xavierians, to go out and see the world, see the hardships of life, see the poverty, and actually get to know them. Because we know they are there, but if we don't experience it firsthand, we will never really understand and feel how they really feel. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ryan. Another charity our school does is, as you know, the Philippines always gets hit by strong typhoons. So usually, after the typhoon comes, our school will launch a relief operation wherein students from our school and our neighbor school come to our school and help pack relief goods for the poor. I remember going to 2 of these events already, and it was truly an amazing experience to see so many people help out for the sake of helping. Because as I said a while ago, we were all just volunteers. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Teotan, and we also have this sister school that we call Erda Tech. The students there are less privileged than us, but with our help and our combined cooperation with Erda Tech, we can enable those lessers and less privileged students to also have the same education that we possess here in Xavier School. Thank you.
Hello again, my name is Derek. Another project which we have is during our fair, some of us students help guide around Aita people who are from the provinces, which we show them around and help them see the attractions around our school. We also give them help whenever they need it. Thank you.
I'd like for SMA to share their programs as well. We've heard some good ones from Xavier. The student there, I believe it was Johan, who asked the question, mentioned they had programs that happen on Tuesday and Friday. What are those programs? What does that look like? So if you could explain your programs a little bit, SMA. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Akila. I'm one of the broadcasting team in my school, and me and my team made a film to persuade the wealthier people or the richer people to donate. By our film, our documentary film, our poster, we made a poster too. We made the sketch to persuade people to donate. So the charity is not about money. It's about loving. It's about the will of ourselves to give others. Thank you.
Hello again, it's Kirana. In our school, every week we have Friday care and Tuesday care. We held these events in these 2 days as to collect money from all the students in the school and to give them to the poor. Other than Friday care and Tuesday care, we also have our charity program that the school from elementary to high school held about 2 times a year. We invite all the poor people from around the school's neighborhood to our school. Other than that, we have Kurban that is once a year, and we distribute all the meat that is from the Kurban to the poor people. And also we have Zakat in every year in the end of the Ramadan month. That's all. Thank you.
There, Kirana, can you explain a little bit more what Zakat is? Thank you.
Hello. Zakat is like charity, but it's mandatory in Islam, especially when in the end of Ramadan. You have to give 2.5% of your income, or maybe other stuff. There are stuff like food. There are many things that you can zakat it from, but most of it usually we zakat only money. I think that sums it all. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Zenith. For me, zakat in Islam will be money or things that we have. But the charity is we can give to the people like smile and love and sharing. Okay, thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Aurelia, and I would like to add what my friend just said. In Islam, we are basically we are made by God into this world to help each other, and that is what we are supposed to do. So, in zakat is more of mandatory charity, but sedekah you can give it anytime. As my friend said, you can give a smile, give a help, or maybe you can help the unfortunate kids like orphans and orphanage some things that they can't buy or they can't have, or maybe you can teach them things and just give what you have. That's all, which is your knowledge. That's all. Thank you.
Hi, again, my name is Tildan, and I have a question. If, uh, if I pronounce this right, Shaka is evident in your culture and religion and all around your country. How is it that poverty is still abundant, while even the other cultures and religion doesn't practice that, yet they are, we can say, have less poverty in their country? Just a question. Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm Aurelia, and to answer your question, in our country, it's I hate to say this, and I'm also sad to say this, but the but it's in our country the birth rate is so high, and there are still corruptions everywhere, so it makes it harder to give if harder to give to the unfortunate ones if the condition is still like that. But we are still working on it. We are every day actually, but we are trying. So okay, I think that's all. I hope that explains it. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kenny. I think the reason why Indonesia got so many poverty and poor people is because Indonesia is one of the most populated country in the world. And with that, distribution between people is very hard and makes it hard for the unfortunate ones to receive what they really need. Thank you.
Are there any other questions before we move on? It can be from either school.
Hi, my name is Ryan. Since both our countries do a great deal of charity, do you guys see the effects of it? Thank you.
Well, adding to that question, hey, I'm Derek, and I'm also Derek. Adding to that question of my friend here, I guess what he's trying to say is that after all the charity events we've done, do we actually see effects or like do we see things that actually change, or is it that poverty still remains and then people are not changing, or probably the people who are in poverty right now are actually depending on our charity events? So will there be a time wherein these people in poverty will actually be alleviated from the state of poverty? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sega. For me, the effects of the charity, we don't see it like if we have some charity now, we don't see it right like now. It takes times and process, um, and because our people is a lot. What I mean a lot in here is we're the number 3 most populated countries in the world. So we it takes a lot of time for us to see the real effects of the charity. Thank you.
To answer your question, hi, I'm Aurelia. I'm sorry, did I just cut you? I'm so sorry. Can you please let me answer this one? Sorry. To answer your question, by the way, I'm Aurelia. Gosh, now I'm rambling. I'm Aurelia, and to answer your question, we have a foundation, and we try to help the unfortunate ones like every day, but it takes time, and we're still processing it, and maybe finally the poverty will be finally eliminated, but I think it's somewhere near the future. I think somewhere far or near the future, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime like soon, but we are working on it. We are still processing it. So and we hope that God will also help us. Okay, so that's it, I guess. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Matthew. I was just going to say that the Philippines too, it really does take time to enact charities. And we try our best to. But due to our population, I believe that charities don't really give that much of a help in the future to the people in poverty, because it just gives the immediate help, not the long-term help, which would be like, if we supply them with food, it will help them immediately. But if ever another accident occurs, like another typhoon, we have to keep on doing charities we should instead have some long-term program that will help them alleviate themselves from the state of poverty. Thank you.
To add to that, I would like to borrow from a video that we watched in class that said we must fix the root of the problem, which is poverty, rather than the symptoms of it. Do you agree? Of course. Thank you.
Okay, to answer your question, I completely agree with you. What we have to focus is not only the symptoms, but only the causes, because as they always say, it's better to prevent than to heal, right? And then to answer your question, that is that is some of the things that we are trying to do, I think, by reducing the corruptions and reducing the birth rate, I guess. No. Controlling the birth rate. Little by little, we're doing it. So, thank you.
a fantastic discussion. We still have about 14 minutes left, and we'll take about probably 7 or 8 of those to look at some closing remarks and, again, what you're taking away. So be thinking about what are you going to take away from today's video conference. Before we get there, though, you guys are asking some pretty big, tough questions concerning the root of poverty and how poverty continues to be so pervasive in so many societies. In fact, I'm trying to think here of if there are very many societies in our world today where we don't see some element of poverty. So I think the next thing I'd like for you to share for the next few minutes is what motivates you to become involved in charitable acts? Is it simply because you're required to by the school, or is there something more intrinsic within your own value or belief system that motivates you to become involved? So if we can hear from a few students from Xavier first, and then we'll send it to SMA Islam. What motivates you to become involved in charitable acts? Xavier, thank you.
Since you guys, this may be a surprise, but even though that this is a Catholic school, I myself am not. I am atheist. In this, you might be asking that, where does your motivation for fighting poverty come from? For me, it comes from seeing the people suffering on the streets. For me, it sees from passing by people who are so hungry that they haven't eaten in 2-3 days. For me, it's not, my motivation is not what I think my God dictates for me to do or what I think society dictates me to do. For me, I choose to try to solve poverty because poverty is a pervasive problem that needs to be fixed urgently. Thank you.
Hi, again, my name is Teotan, and at first I know it's a bit backtracking, but at first I have to say, I can't sugarcoat the poverty situation in the Philippines. Mostly there's gonna be, there are feeding programs, whereas some people would give or spread around some food to the poor that are begging for them, but we can't say for sure if they're actually working for the food or just getting a free meal just to pass the day, but eventually in the rest of the day they will stay on the streets or beg money. And we can say that that money would be used properly since eventually we can say that in the Philippines, drugs are abundant and gambling is a big thing. And a lot of thief and stealing happens here in the Philippines amongst the poverty. So to answer your question, Corey, about how I could help involve in the charity, for now I can say that I can't solemnly, how could I say this? I can't solemnly join a single charity because we cannot be sure if that is the solution or the only solution or yet even a possible solution, or it will just cause another disaster or make it worse. Since poverty is a really complicated topic and we can't say that only giving a few peso to the poor or even every single money in the world to the poor would solve the problem of poverty. Thank you.
And for me, what actually in our school is actually kind of required to go out and help, but most of the time, and I think around 80% of our projects in Xavier are not required when we go out to help. We feel that since we are already blessed enough and we are really thankful for all the wealth we already received, the Xavier education and our parents' hard work, we want to share it with someone else because what is the point of keeping something to yourself? If you're getting rich by yourself, but you can't share it with others. You can't share your happiness with another person you love because you're too greedy to keep all your material belongings. So for us, charity is like it's like an outlet for us to share our blessings with others. And that's what actually drives us to do it. Like, for example, the PKK program, that they actually would go out in the States to find some street children out of school to give them an education throughout the summer. So like we're sharing our Xavier education with these kids, which in turn can help solve the problem of poverty because it is a long-term goal. This education in turn can help them let's say, get a good job, hopefully, or invent something that could help the world. That would help them escape poverty, and it which is a more of a long-term solution. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Derek, and my motivation would actually be sympathy. Sympathy. In Savior, we have these events or outreach programs. Like for example, this year we had an immersion in one of the leading grocery stores in the Philippines, in SM. So the mere fact that we were actually able to experience the other side of actually working a white collar job, a blue collar job, we got to experience what it is to be to experience poverty or to experience something that less fortunate people have. And one more thing would be the SOP where we actually go to an abandoned what do you call it? Retirement homes, and then we actually get to talk to them and feel or actually get to hear their experience with getting left behind or having less opportunities. And hearing their stories, you wouldn't want to have people experience the same things. So what I would want to do is to actually do something about it for people not like us, not just us, but other people to actually experience more opportunities to eventually relieve their state of being poor. That's all. Thank you.
That would be all from Xavier School Philippines. Thank you.
Hey, it's Reed, and what motivates me for charity is compassion, because compassion is a feeling empathy to the others, and it's giving us to feel what they're suffering from, and it makes us to desire to help them. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Caesar. Um, my motivation is because I don't want to see my people like Indonesian is begging in the street, because I want everyone to be equal. No, nobody like so rich and someone is poor. I want everyone is to be equal. You know, like equal. They were, yeah, everyone. Maybe that. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Aurelia. And in Islam, not only that we are expected to God to help each other and to be caring for each other in the world, but aside from that, it's my belief that we should have our own realization, our own will to help others, because it's a thing to do. Who wouldn't want to live in a world of filled with peace and harmony, where everybody is happy, where everybody is nice to each other, where everybody has what they need? Who wouldn't want to live in that world? So I guess to answer your question, it's the aside from it's expected it's Muslim, it's also it's the right thing to do. It's the only thing to do. Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Radifa, and I believe that we actually have enough education. So my plan is for the future, I want to teach the unfortunate ones about what I know, or maybe what I can teach them maybe when I graduated. And I hope that the people that I used to teach, I used to give lessons,
I hope that they will change the they will change our country to be a better country with no corruption and less poverty. That's all I think. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Akila. I'm not begging for pity, but I'm an orphan. Since I was 8 maybe, my dad left me because he died already. And I feel sad. I'm longing for love. I'm longing for everyone to help me. And that's what I feel, my empathy, adding Rit's advice that we should feel empathy to others. And I feel that I'm longing for love. I can do anything without love. So because of that feeling, I'm motivated to do charity. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ilham again. My motivation for me to involve to a charity because I believe when we do good things, the good things will come to us. It means like if we do a charity, the gods will repay us, such as happiness, wealthy, or some loving people. It's like when we do good things, the good things will come to us. Thank you.
Everyone, I mean, some terrific responses. I'm sorry I have to interrupt because we are almost out of time. Now we're only down to 2 minutes, so I apologize. But we do need to wrap it up, and it's interesting listening to all of your motivations and how they are religiously inspired in some cases. In other cases, it's more of a sense of empathy or a sense of shared humanity. And I think in most cases, it's probably a combination of those things. And it's terrific to hear from 2 schools which provide so many opportunities to take those motivations and put them into action. So since we've almost run out of time, what I'd like to do is just give you all about 30 seconds to talk in your groups and come up with a consensus. What are 2 things as a group you'll take away from today's video conference? And then if we can just have one person share out those 2 things. So take 30 seconds and come up with 2 takeaways. Thank you. Go right ahead.
My name is Kenny, and we got a consensus. It was compassion and action. Thank you. Compassion makes us to do a lot of good things, and makes us do a lot of nice actions, like do a lot of charity and stuff like that. Thank you.
All right, and Xavier, what are 2 takeaways you'll take away from today's video conference? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ryan, and the 2 takeaways we got from this conversation is, first of all, is that it's our basic duty as a human being to help other people from suffering, because naturally we wouldn't want to see it, and so we'd act upon that instinct to help, since we are all people. And our second takeaway would be that solving poverty would take a lot of time to do so, but the gradual effort by everyone helps contribute a lot. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. This has been a terrific video conference. I do hope that you follow up either on the online community or with a second video conference. And as we do with all of our video conferences, we ask that one last time you open up your microphones and say goodbye to one another. Great job, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, those are our friends.
Those are my
Bye. Bye, Aurelio.